Hello everyone. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the new USCCA Cloud Server. As you know, we currently host USConcealedCarry.com and YouArePrepared.com on a dedicated server. That server is running at about 50% capacity, though on occasion it's been getting up close to 100% capacity. Now, we don't want to wait until it's always running at 100% capacity before we start looking at our options to upgrade. The thing is that upgrading is more difficult these days. Previously, when we've shared hosting, we could simply call up our web host and say, hey, give us a bigger piece of the server. But now that we're using 100% of the server, getting more is difficult. Our server size is an average sort of medium-sized server, which means we could call our host and say, give us a bigger machine. That would probably double our capacity. But membership in the USCCA is going to more than double. We expect it to grow exponentially, which means that no matter how big we make it, eventually we're going to run out of space. So what we have to do is the same thing that every other company has had to do when they get to this point in their growth. We start adding additional servers. As we add additional servers, our ability to host websites increases continuously. We can add as many servers as is necessary until we have every single person in the United States as a member of the USCCA. So that's what we're going to do. And that brings me right back to my USCCA Cloud Server. Now, I'm calling it a cloud server mostly because cloud is a big buzzword in hosting these days. What we're actually building is called a cluster. A cluster is a group of computers working together to provide a single service. Our cluster is going to contain 4 computers, 2 web servers, 2 databases. The web servers will synchronize with each other so that they can consistently deliver USConcealedCarry.com and YouArePrepared.com websites. They will both synchronize with the databases, thus delivering as if one system to the World Wide Web. As requests come in from the World Wide Web, they will be distributed between the 2 web servers, so that each web server takes half the load. This configuration has a number of advantages, which we'll cover next. The first advantage I've already talked about, and that's infinite scalability. We can easily add as many new servers as necessary to supply whatever demand the USCCA has. This can be done without taking down the existing site. In fact, it's a seamless, transparent increase in server availability. The next advantage is hardware redundancy. With a dedicated server like we currently use, if any component in the hardware should fail, a hard drive, memory, power failure, anything along those lines, the website simply goes down. In a cluster, if some component of hardware should fail, web traffic is simply diverted to the still functioning servers. That way the website stays up, and we're able to repair the servers without having to take everything down. This leads me to the third advantage: high availability. High availability is a web tech term that means that the website is always up. Even if we should intentionally take one of the web servers down, perhaps for a hardware upgrade or for a software upgrade or even to make major improvements to the site, the website is still available to our customers. That way, when they come to the site, they never see the dreaded server unavailable message, which makes them lose confidence in the USCCA and our software. The final advantage that I want to cover here is that there will be less than a 50% increase in cost by moving to the new system. We currently pay about $950 a month for our dedicated server. The cluster is going to run us about $1,400 a month. That means we're moving from a static, single point of failure server with 4 processing cores, 8 gig of RAM, and 500 gigabyte of hard disk space into a scalable, high availability cluster with the equivalent of 16 processing cores, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 1.2 terabytes of hard disk space. In other words, we're more than doubling the size of our server, but only increasing the cost by less than 50%. Well, that's all I have for you in this video. If you have some more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.